Hello Pisces, welcome or welcome back. It's good to see you. You have been in the back of my mind for days, and I know that's part of the message. There's something in the back of your mind, maybe something in your unconscious mind, that is building or growing in momentum. I feel like this is a desire that you have. Could be anything, right? But there's a desire that you have that is now gaining speed. It's gaining traction, maybe silently so, but you can feel the energy building. When I first connected with your energy just a few minutes ago, Spirit showed me a train. And it was one of those old-timey steam trains. The steam was billowing out of it, and it was going so fast. It was actually kind of slanted forward, like how a cartoon train would look. And then I heard, someday when you least expect it, there will be movement. There will be magic in your heart, and a flower will bloom where or when you didn't expect it to. So progress is being made. I feel like Spirit wants you to know, or Spirit wants to affirm your inner knowing to you, that progress is being made, even if physically in the 3D, sometimes it doesn't seem that way. I'm hearing you're gearing up for a quantum jump. You are gearing up for a quantum jump. And the analogy that's coming to me is a bow and arrow. You know, the farther you want that arrow to go, the farther you have to pull it back. You've been pulling that arrow back for a little while now because you know that's what real progress looks like. Progress is not always, let's say, like perfectly incremental, right? Sometimes progress on the surface looks like stagnation, but it's not. The energy is building under the surface. And when you've pulled that arrow back as far as you possibly can, and then you let go, it's going to go so far, so fast, it's just going to blow everybody's minds, basically. So I've pulled 3 oracle cards for you so far. The first one that came out was manifestation, followed by grief, and the magician. There is definitely something that you want, that you are dead set on manifesting. It's like you trust your own, let's say, inner knowing. You trust your own energy to create what you want. It doesn't matter if anybody else believes in it. It doesn't matter if anybody else can vision what you can vision. You know, I want this thing, I can create this thing. So you've set that intention to create what you want. And as a result of that, it feels like old pain, wounds, potentially grief, have flared up. But you are far enough along in your journey that you understand pain is not a bad thing. Old wounds are not a bad thing. More than that, you can use your pain as fuel to create what you want. So I'm seeing these 3 cards almost as like not a timeline, but like an order of operations, if that makes sense. Through the manifestation card, you got clear on what you wanted. Because you got so clear on what you wanted, old wounds flared up that said, oh, I don't know, going for something like this hurt me in the past, or I don't know if I'm worthy of this, or I don't know, it could be any, anger, sadness, disappointment, anything, right? It flared up. But you're not letting it consume you. You're not ignoring it either. It's like you're using the pain to help you tap into even deeper levels of power. And now you're in the magician energy. And I'm getting this feeling that you're in the magician energy, but it's very silent. Like, people around you may not realize fully just what you're doing here, but you are creating what you want. You are energetically setting the stage for what you want, using all of your emotions, all of your experiences, all of your wisdom, even the negative experiences, right? You're using all of it to inform how you want to direct the puzzle pieces of your reality. You see how the magician is literally pointing at the spheres? It's almost like he's a conductor. He's like, you go over there, I want you over here. Okay, I'm hearing managing. You're the manager of your own reality now. Okay, this is beautiful. Let's get a few more oracle cards for you. I'm just hearing when the time is right. When the time is right, when the time is right. You're coming to understand that having patience and waiting for what you want isn't a state of powerlessness or victimhood. It's not the universe making you wait just to make you frustrated, right? I'm hearing it's part of the game. Like, waiting is part of the game. And if you wait for that right time, that right moment to release that arrow after you've pulled it all the way back you possibly can, you're going to go so much farther, so much faster than most people, certainly than most people expected you to. Through this grief card, I just also feel like there is it's like that skull is a representation of a past version of you. It's an old version of you. Oh yeah, that's interesting. There's a skull in the grief card, and then the skeleton is the magician. Give me 1 second, let me sit with that. Old things that you wanted led to pain. So you've just learned from them. It's almost like you have constructed. Nothing here has happened by accident. You have constructed the version of yourself that now exists. Another skeleton. Death. What a beautiful death card. So this is obviously Scorpio. Scorpio energy here. I feel like this skeleton here is the old version of you. Oh, I'm hearing you made a promise to yourself at the, I'm hearing death point, metaphorically speaking. As the old version of you was dying, you made a promise, maybe to life itself or to yourself, but you made some kind of promise or intention that you would, I don't know, just really be anchored in your personal power going forward in a way you were not before. That detachment from personal power is what led to the pain, and you saw that. So I'm hearing on death's door, you made a promise. You're keeping that promise. Winter. Apparent stagnation. Well, winter is kind of like nature's death, right? So we're still in this death energy here. Apparent stagnation, apparent silence, quiet, waiting, right? It's not what it seems. You cannot experience the spring unless you pass through winter. You've been moving through this energy of death and winter. And because you've been so willing to do that, you have laid the appropriate foundation for yourself to step into spring energy, that moment when the arrow releases, right? You've, I'm hearing encompassed the wisdom of stillness. I'm hearing you've encompassed the wisdom of stillness. Stillness is not what it seems. Only those who are willing to sit in stillness or silence will realize just how powerful it is. It is not nothing. Let's get a couple more. Ascension. Keeping with the metaphor of the arrow, I feel like this circle here with that tree in the center, that's your bullseye. That's your bullseye. That's what you want to create. You have your eye dead set on something grand for yourself. So what is that, Pisces? I would just ask you. It's going to be different, obviously, for each and every one of you, but what is that for you? What is it that you want to achieve, create? I'm hearing master, manifest. What is it that you desire with your whole heart? I'm just drawn to the cup that skeleton is holding in the death card. It reminds me of the Ace of Cups, your heart. What is it that you desire with your whole heart that you were willing to almost die for, in a way? Let's look at the bottom of the deck. Entanglement. Ooh. Okay. This is like simultaneously good feeling and bad feeling at the same time. You had to learn how to disentangle yourself from energies that dragged you down. And now you are entangling yourself positively with energies that lift you up. It's almost like entanglement here is a synonym for entrainment. We're constantly in training with whatever we surround ourselves with. You can't avoid it. You're in training with technically me right now, I guess, by watching this, right? You're in training with the food you eat, with the people that you work with. I mean, you cannot avoid this kind of energetic entanglement. You cannot avoid being influenced by your environment. You know this. And so you're learning how, or maybe you have learned how, to entangle yourself with the right things, the right people, the right places, the right energies, as opposed to the ones that bring you down. And obviously we have a snake here. Transformation speaks for itself. I'm hearing you're sliding into a new reality. Should I pull more? No. Okay, let's go into tarot. I am using the Wild Unknown Tarot for you. Where do we go from here, Spirit? Where do I go from here? Okay, just show me Pisces general energy. Show me Pisces right now, please, Spirit. Oh, you know what I'm hearing? Some of you probably are going to know what I'm talking about more than I know this. There's a term in Harry Potter, a Horcrux. I haven't watched those movies in so long, but for whatever reason, that's just so random. That word is coming to me. Some of you probably know what that is. I don't. But what it's making me think of is spell work. Like you're doing your own spell work. Maybe you're crafting your own, like you setting the intention to manifest something is a spell. Show me Pisces. Pisces. Six of Pentacles, beautiful. Okay, new growth. There is that spring, right? The energy of spring and new growth after a long, long period of winter. This is balance. This is finding balance or creating balance for yourself. I'm hearing not settling for anything less than pure balance and equilibrium. Yeah, look at those little baby pentacles. They're like, you know, the little pentacles are like buds on the tree. You're growing your own abundance, which is this abundance you're growing is born from the internal equilibrium you have found within yourself. Balance creates balance. Harmonious energies. Wheel of Fortune. This is the moment when the wheel turns from winter to spring, right? This is a huge turning point. Huge, huge turning point that maybe nobody was expecting. Nobody was expecting you to move through or experience. And maybe at some point in the past, you didn't expect yourself to go through this either. But some part of you, your soul, your bones, some deep, deep essence within you kind of always believed. You've always really believed in yourself, even if at times parts of you were not so sure. Wow, I was literally just going to say the Wheel of Fortune, number 10, cycle completion, the world. Look at these two together. They're so similar. Ooh, Pisces. Wow. What is over? What is over in your life? What have you let go of? What are you, I'm hearing, what are you no longer willing to tolerate? That has been, I feel, maybe one of the biggest, I'm hearing, achievements in your soul growth is the clarification within yourself of what you are no longer willing to tolerate. But again, I'm just getting this incredible feeling that you haven't just chopped things off or let the past go in this way of like, you know, you're just going to forget it ever happened. You've woven everything that's ever happened to you into the tapestry of your soul so that you can literally use everything to your advantage. I'm hearing the final dregs of old you are dissolving, and your own soul or higher self, your guides, maybe, however you want to think about it, they're beckoning you through this portal that is the world. They're beckoning you. This actually kind of looks like an eye in a way. The divine eye. Ooh. So you're about to step into the energy of the Fool. It's akin to the energy of spring, right? So what's the challenge? What's the primary challenge that Pisces is facing right now? Let me adjust myself here. My leg is falling asleep. What's the primary challenge that Pisces is facing, Spirit? You know, I ask that question in almost every reading. What is the challenge that this collective is facing? Almost without exception, I always hear themselves in my mind. But I don't say that because I don't want to be repetitive. My mind just kicked that word up themselves, but something in my system is saying no. Like, you are actually not your greatest challenge at this time. For most people, it usually is. Most people are just standing in their own way, but I don't feel like you are. There might be a cord that you have to cut with someone or something. I'm hearing tether. The Star. Let's get some clarification on that. Oh. That star feels like it doesn't belong to you. This feels like an old dream. It's an old dream that you had, an old wish. The star is also about healing, right? Clarify the star. Nine of Pentacles. Let me sit with this for a second. Yeah, okay, this feels like I would whittle it down to the energy of Spirit saying, stay the course. Like, protect your vision. Protect the vision you have for your highest abundance. Your highest abundance. Again, don't settle. Right? You have a very, very big dream. A dream that may be so big it seems out of reach or impossible on some level. Or to the average person, it might seem impossible. But Spirit is saying protect that vision. White feathers might be very important to you. Spirit is saying, look for white feathers. Let's get one more. Ace of Cups. There's that Ace of Cups. Remember the promise that you made to yourself and to life, to death, right? Life and death. Well, should I say this? Okay, I'll say this. I don't actually think that life is the opposite of death. Birth is the opposite of death. Life encompasses both. I just felt like I needed to say that. Remember the promise you made to your own heart to stay rooted in your power. It also feels like part of the challenge here might be for you to stay vulnerable with yourself. Stay vulnerable with yourself. Why is this the challenge? 2323. Yeah, protect the highest vision in your heart, even if it makes you feel scared and vulnerable. Death. Why this is the challenge. One second. And it's the image of a bird. Take me back to the white feathers. I don't know. Bird energy, just in general, might be very significant for you, or maybe just feathers. Take it as it resonates. The energy of freedom, right? Taking flight. Is there some kind of dead weight that you're carrying, Pisces? What would that be? Let's just assume you are, just as a mental exercise. Let's assume you are carrying dead weight. What is that? What is that for you? It could be quite literal. Physical weight. I'm not talking about body weight. I'm talking about like objects. Maybe you need to declutter. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud here. Or maybe it's more energetic, because I was feeling like you might need to cut a cord and I was hearing tether. So take that as it resonates. Something's already dead. Something has already died, but maybe in some way you're still energetically connected to it, and that makes it difficult for you at times, or challenging, to stay connected to that highest vision in your heart. I mean, maybe what you want for yourself is just so profound. It's like, is this really possible for me? Most of you knows that it is. What's the advice? Yeah, even just going into the energy of your challenge feels a little bit discombobulating. So I would say if you ever find yourself feeling that way, like confused or second-guessing yourself, going circles in your head, right? Just understand. In that moment, you might be disconnected from your power. When you're in your power, you don't second guess your visions. Okay, what's the advice? Advice for Pisces, Spirit. Three of Pentacles, okay. On some level, I feel like this is Spirit saying, be super practical about the way that you approach any challenges or obstacles in your life. You have all the resources that you need, including other people, if you want to draw upon other people as resources. You have all the resources that you need in your life in order to surmount the mountain. Any challenge or obstacle in your life, you can move through. The Three of Pentacles is also about recognizing the value that you bring to the table in your relationships, whether they're romantic or work-related, it doesn't matter, just relationships, right? This is the value you bring to the table. This is the energy of co-creation and collaboration, working with other energies around you, not doing things alone. Haha. Nine of Swords. For your advice. Let's get one more. Nope. Let's get one more here. It's kind of similar to the Death card in a way. That, you know, it's like a carcass. An old, well, is that a jawbone? I think it is. I think this is a decomposing jawbone. The jaw, that sometimes can be a symbol for suppressed anger, tension. And there's another eye. There's two eyeballs here. And I felt like that World card looked like an eye. Daughter of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles. Give me 1 second here. Okay. Thought has no power over you. Spirit is saying, don't believe everything you think. Don't believe everything you think. When you have old anxious thoughts or self-doubting related thoughts or even old painful memories that come up, Spirit wants you to just get curious and recognize them for what they are, which is thoughts. They are not real. They're not real, right? It's almost like thoughts are potential. Thoughts are clay. Just because you have a particular thought that blips into your head, it has no power until you give it power. So which thoughts do you want to give power? Be super curious. Page, energy, student, energy. Which thoughts can you think that will align you with your highest vision? That Nine of Pentacles and that star. Which thoughts can you think and focus on and really believe and cultivate and put energy behind that will align you with that vision in your heart. And which thought, okay, I just heard which thoughts are trash. Okay, Spirit, that was a little harsh, but you know what I mean. Thoughts don't mean anything until you make them mean something. Oh, okay, now what's coming to me is the meaning of life is to give it meaning. The meaning of life is to give it meaning. So what do you want your life to mean? What is the meaning of life to you? You get to decide. Let's get a journal prompt for you from my deck. Journal prompt for Pisces. What do you wish that more people knew or understood about you? Maybe that something is something you need to clarify within yourself about yourself at this time. Putting words to this, what you want other people to understand about you, it'll probably help you to feel like you don't need them to understand you so much anymore, right? It feels like all you really need is to understand yourself. When you understand yourself, you're fully embodied, you're empowered, you're grounded, you're anchored in truth. And then that truth just radiates out of you. And you don't need anybody to understand anything. You just are you, understanding yourself. And the people who are meant for you will automatically understand you. Let's get a closing message here from Alice the Wonderland Oracle. Closing message for Pisces, please, Spirit. Number 24, use your time well. Make every moment count. Talk about giving your life meaning and understanding that maybe waiting isn't really waiting. Let's see what the guidebook says here. And number 24 reduces to 6, takes me back to the 6 of Pentacles, finding balance, creating balance, being balance. Okay. Asking riddles that seem to have no answer may seem like a waste of time, but sometimes it leads to discovery. When we allow ourselves to ask questions that may have no discernible answer, we might find out valuable things and unearth what we truly think and believe. But there is another element to this card, as there are people who will waste your time, not only by asking questions that have no answers, but by deliberately asking those questions intending to simply take up your time. There are people in our hang on. There are people in our lives who feel justified prying or wasting our time. It is up to you to decide what questions are worth answering and those that serve no purpose and can be left alone. Like Alice, you could find yourself becoming bothered by people's desire to confuse you. Yeah, that takes me back to the entanglement card. When this card comes, it is essential to create a safe space about yourself, the feathers around the Nine of Pentacles, and to know what you are prepared to do, what you're prepared to withdraw from, and what you will leave well alone. Trust Alice on this. There are many people in the world with questions that will simply waste your very precious, irreplaceable time. Answer those questions that bring you closer to a resolution or that will lead to a greater and deeper way of experiencing the world. Some people love to feel they are important enough to take up another's time for no sound reason. Do not let them waste yours. Who is worth spending time with, Pisces? Who or what is worth spending time with, Pisces? It's tying so many things together in my mind. So many things here. Let me sit with this for a second. No time is wasted. No time is wasted when you're using it intentionally. And I feel like you're really doing that now. You are being very intentional, or you are ready to be very, very intentional. You know, you can be having a conversation with somebody about the rain, and it's not a waste of time because of who that person is and how they affect you, how they change you as you entrain with them. And you could be having a discussion with somebody about something apparently very important, but it's a waste of time. Have the discernment to know what matters to you most. Thank you for letting me read for you, Pisces. I hope this was helpful, or at least thought-provoking. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, I'll be putting that journal prompt in the description box along with several others, so be sure to check them out. They'll help you to process everything and take your inner work a little deeper. I'll see you next time. Bye.